The Jinn of the broken mirror in a small, quiet town surrounded by whispering trees and old stone houses. There lived a boy named Zawar. He was curious, the kind of boy who would take apart clocks to see how the gears moved, or climb up to the attic just to peek into dusty boxes no one had opened for years. His parents loved him, but they often warned him not to meddle with things he didn't understand. "Curiosity is good, Zawar," his mother would say, "but too much of it can open doors better left closed." Zawar never took those warnings seriously. After all, what harm could curiosity do? One cloudy afternoon, while exploring his grandparents' old house, Zawar discovered a narrow wooden door behind the staircase. It was so small and covered in cobwebs that it almost blended with the wall. He crouched and pushed. It creaked open with a long sigh. Inside was a forgotten storage room filled with broken furniture, old portraits, and stacks of newspapers yellowed with age. The air smelled of dust and mystery. In the corner, something caught his eye, a large mirror, covered with a torn white sheet. The glass beneath was cracked right through the middle like a lightning bolt. It looked ancient, the frame carved with strange patterns and symbols he couldn't understand. Zawar touched the mirror's surface carefully. A chill ran up his arm. The glass shimmered for a second, just slightly like water disturbed by a breeze. "Whoa!" he whispered. He leaned closer and saw not just his reflection, but what looked like another room behind the glass, a dimly lit chamber with flickering blue lights. He blinked, thinking it was his imagination, but then something moved inside the mirror. Zawar stepped back. The air grew colder. Before he could react, the mirror started to hum, low at first, then louder, like a faraway storm. The cracks began to glow faintly. A sudden gust of icy wind blew through the tiny room, tossing papers and dust into the air. Zawar tried to run, but his feet wouldn't move. The mirror's light grew brighter, and then it shattered completely. For a moment, everything went silent. Then came a deep, echoing voice. "Who dares awaken me after all these centuries?" Zawar froze. Out of the swirling mist that rose from the shards, a tall, shadowy figure appeared. A Jinn. His form shimmered like smoke, his eyes glowing a strange golden hue. He wasn't monstrous, but powerful. Too powerful for the tiny room that suddenly felt even smaller. Zawar's heart raced. I didn't mean to. I didn't know." The Jinn looked down at him, tilting his head slightly. "You freed me, mortal child. And for that, you have summoned your own fate." Zawar swallowed hard. "Please, I didn't do it on purpose. I can fix it. The Jinn raised a hand, and the broken shards of glass lifted into the air, spinning around like stars. "Do you think the mirror breaks and mends so easily? I have been bound for ages in that cursed glass, imprisoned for my arrogance. And now you, a mere boy, have freed me." Zawar's voice trembled. Are you going to hurt me?" The Jinn's gaze softened unexpectedly. "No, Zawar, you have done what many fear to do. You set me free, but in doing so, you have also inherited my trial." "Trial?" The Jinn's form shifted, and he became clearer, now looking almost human, dressed in flowing blue robes. "Long ago, I too was like you, proud, curious, unwilling to admit my mistakes. That arrogance led me to defy the truth, and for it, I was trapped in the mirror of sins. The only one who could free me was a soul pure enough to act without greed or hate, yet foolish enough to make a mistake. You, Zawar, are that soul." Zawar blinked, unsure what to say. "I'm not pure, I break things sometimes." The Jinn smiled faintly. "And yet, you care enough to feel guilt. That is where courage begins." The room slowly transformed. The walls melted away, replaced by swirling clouds and shimmering sands. Zawar found himself standing in a vast desert under a violet sky. The Jinn hovered beside him. "Your trial begins now," the Jinn said. "You will face 3 mirrors. In each, you will see a truth about yourself, something you've broken, denied, or hidden. Face them bravely, or remain trapped as I once was. Zawar's throat tightened, but he nodded. I'll try. The first mirror appeared before him, glowing faintly blue. When he looked into it, he saw his school, his classroom, his teacher, and his friends. He saw himself laughing, and then teasing another boy, Sami, who had stuttered during a reading. Zawar watched as the younger version of himself laughed cruelly while Sami's eyes filled with tears. Zawar's stomach twisted. I didn't mean to hurt him that much, he whispered. The Jinn's voice echoed beside him. You hid your guilt behind laughter. To face this mirror, you must admit what you denied. Zawar clenched his fists. I was wrong. I shouldn't have made fun of him. It was mean, and I knew it. The reflection shimmered, and the image of Sami smiled faintly before fading. The mirror dissolved into light. One truth faced, said the Jinn. Two remain. The second mirror appeared, this one red and flickering. When Zawar peered in, he saw his home. His mother was calling him from the kitchen, asking if he had broken her favorite vase last week. He had, but he'd blamed it on the wind. He watched as his mother sighed sadly and swept the pieces, whispering, I wish he'd told the truth. Zawar bit his lip. I lied. Because I was scared she'd be angry. Fear of consequences is the root of many lies, said the Jinn. Do you have the courage to face this one? Zawar nodded. Yes, I broke it, and I lied. I'm sorry. The mirror cracked and fell away like dust. The Jinn looked at him with approval. Two truths faced. One remains, the hardest. The third mirror appeared, black as night, cold to the touch. Zawar hesitated before looking in. When he did, he saw something he didn't expect. Himself standing in front of the broken mirror again, staring at the Jinn's prison. But this time, the Jinn's voice came from within the reflection, angry and accusing. You freed me without thought. You could have doomed us both. You act before you think, and your curiosity may one day destroy more than glass. Zawar's chest tightened. He saw flashes of moments, when he climbed too high in the tree and fell, when he opened his father's toolbox and lost the keys, when his friends got scolded because of his dares. He stepped closer to the dark mirror. I know, he said quietly. I act before thinking. I want to see, to know, to feel everything. But I never mean to hurt anyone. The reflection's eyes softened. Then learn, said the voice. Courage isn't about never making mistakes. It's about admitting them and trying to be better. Zawar took a deep breath. I understand now. The black mirror shattered, not in anger, but in release. The desert wind roared, swirling around him as the Jinn raised his arms. Light burst from the ground, wrapping them both in golden warmth. When the wind died, Zawar was back in the attic. The broken mirror lay on the floor, now dull and lifeless. The Jinn stood beside him, faint and fading. Zawar looked up at him. Are you leaving? The Jinn nodded slowly. My time here is over. You have done what even I could not. You faced yourself with honesty. That is the courage that sets all souls free. Zawar's eyes filled with tears. Will I ever see you again? The Jinn smiled gently. Whenever you face your reflection with truth, I will be there, not as a spirit, but as the strength inside you. With that, he vanished into a swirl of golden dust that drifted into the cracks of the mirror and disappeared forever. Zawar sat silently for a long time. The attic was quiet again, filled only with a faint sound of rain tapping the roof. He picked up one of the mirror's shards and saw his reflection, tired, a little frightened, but somehow braver. He went downstairs and found his mother in the kitchen. She looked up and smiled. Zawar, where have you been? You've been gone for hours. Zawar hesitated, then said softly, Mama, remember your vase? I broke it, and I lied. I'm sorry. His mother blinked in surprise, then smiled warmly. Thank you for telling the truth, my son. That night, Zawar felt lighter than he had in days. He knew now that mistakes were not what defined a person, it was how they faced them. Days turned into weeks, and sometimes, when Zawar looked into any mirror, he thought he saw a faint shimmer, a golden glint deep within the glass. It never scared him. Instead, it reminded him that courage wasn't the absence of fear or guilt, it was the act of looking into your own reflection and saying, "I can do better." And from that day onward, Zawar did do better. He apologized to Sami, who forgave him kindly. He became more careful, more thoughtful, but he never lost his curiosity. He simply learned to guide it with wisdom. The broken mirror remained in the attic, covered once again with its torn white sheet. But sometimes, on moonlit nights, if someone were to walk past it, they might hear a soft whisper like a distant breeze carrying words through time. Face your mistakes, and you shall find freedom. And somewhere in the unseen world, the Jinn of the broken mirror smiled, knowing his curse had finally turned into a lesson that would live on, not in glass but in the heart of a brave boy named Zawar. Moral: facing your mistakes is true bravery.